Hello, everybody. Hello, YouTube. Hello, art history enthusiasts and visual culture aficionados. It's me again, Miss M. And I'm back with yet another video. Today, what are we gonna do today? Today, I'm doing, I guess you could call this a viewer request. I'm going to talk about probably exactly what I'm going to put in the title, Donald Trump, his mugshot. And all the mugshots of like the whole collection of people. That's what I'm going to talk about today. So, I'm trying to like figure out how to do my videos better. So I just come right out and say what I'm going to do right away. You can decide whether or not you want to stay right away. You don't got to wait and listen to me talk about my grocery shopping or anything like that. So now you know what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about, where the hell is it? This. Okay, we're going to talk about this. And today I'm making this at night. Had a rough day today and yesterday, but today's September 11th. Today is the day that we never forget here in the United States. There's not a lot of fanfare or anything, or what have you regarding this date, but it's a pretty important date in American history, at least modern American history. And because somebody requested, and I'll just go ahead and show you, April Peters, 8620, basically, I think requested me to, I guess, comment on the mugshot heard around the world. Okay, I'll read April Peters' comment. Hi, I'm new to your channel, so I don't know if you already addressed this, but I was wondering what you thought of Donald Trump's mugshot. I'm not interested in politics, so I didn't really care at first, but when I looked at it closely, I said, damn, that looks like the Kubrick stare, just like Jack looking at Wendy and Danny in the maze. Interesting. April, I don't know, maybe. Did you notice this as well? I didn't. I interpreted his mugshot a different way, and we'll get into it. I'll talk about it in the video. April asks, what do you make of this? I have my ideas, April. And everybody who's listening, I have my ideas. Now, this is not going to be a pro or anti-Trump video. No, that's not what we're going to do here. I don't really get into politics because I know that's a very touchy, emotional issue. Okay, yes, of course I have my own opinions, but for the most part, I like to keep them to myself. Okay, but I will talk about the mugshot and the context of the mugshot and maybe like how I see him as an individual. Don't, never mind all of the theatrics and whatever. Him as an individual, I think people underestimate him. I really do. But, well, I'll get into it. April continues, if you talked about it, could you direct me to the video? I don't know if April's going to see this, but I guess I can reply to her reply, I guess. So, glad to find your channel. Listening to a soothing voice ramble about The Shining while I drink my coffee is such a treat. Thank you so very, very much. April Peters, 8620. Okay. And I answered, I was thinking about addressing it as well as the other mugshots in a video. You're kind of inspiring me to do it. And you are, April. So, here we are. Now that you know what this video is going to be about. And April commented under my Diego Velasquez portrait of Jerry Cantrell art talk video. So, it's an interesting place to ask about it. Maybe I should do more kind of interesting stuff, or just my take on more hip happening stuff. Kind of like this AI picture putting Jerry Cantrell's face on Pope Innocent's body, and the mugshots. I've located a couple of articles. Not that I'm going to read them all or all of them in their entirety, but people have been talking about this, thinking about this, trying to figure this out. So why not add my whatever to the heap? Why not? But anyway, now that you know what the video is going to be about, let me do my church announcements and let's get into it. If you haven't already, now would be a good time to fire up the percolator. Okay. So, returning viewers, Thank you for returning. New viewers, thank you for being new. Subscribers, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate every single last one of you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Help me get to 1,000. Help push me out into the algorithm by liking my videos. I heard a rumor that once you get to 200 videos, it gets easier and you get more easily noticed by the YouTube algorithm. I don't know what to believe anymore. But, help me out. It's a completely free way to help out my channel. Just like it. Like it, and if you're so inclined, please subscribe. And that's that. So, again, get that coffee ready. I don't know if this is going to be a coffee break, but you can have coffee while you're watching or listening. You sure can. I'm going to be taking a little coffee break too. Had a long ass day. That freeway is something. Um, had a good day, but an exhausting day. Uh, so you guys, it is September 11th. It is raining this evening, a little tiny bit in Southern California, at least where I am, which is really uncharacteristic for this time of year. It just don't make no sense. I was just PMing with Anno Domini in the former Twitter, current X's DMs, and I was like, we were talking a little bit about DARPA. Um, I mean, I told you I've read all the conspiracy theories. You know I know about DARPA and HARP. Um, I don't know whether or not they're using it. I am just like so curious and so suspicious that maybe they used it to redirect Hurricane Hillary and make sure it doesn't like destroy Los Angeles, because we are not built for rain, let alone the kind of rain that comes with a tropical storm. Absolutely not. So I don't know. Anything's possible. And me and Anno had a cute little chat. Nice chat. In the DMs. And Richard has been busy. Tankard of Tales has been busy researching and researching and researching. I am like very excited to see what he comes up with. I've been overworked lately. And I got to register tonight for my Spanish 1 course. So wish me luck, y'all. Wish me luck. So what are we talking about today? We're going to talk about this here. Okay, this is the Intelligencer from the New York Magazine, and this is all the mugshots of Donald Trump and his alleged co-conspirators. This is nice of them. They say alleged. Most people just take it as a fait accompli. That this, they're all guilty and everything is said and done. You know what? Let me tell you what. Look at them. Look at all of these things. They don't make no sense, do they? Now, I'm not a law enforcement professional. I am not. I don't know how mugshots work. I know it's not like glamour shots. I know they don't use very good lighting. I know that it's the kind of environment that it is. It's not these photographs are not meant to make anybody look good or flatter anybody's appearance. But there's something about these mugshots. There's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Wait a minute. Ha 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 ha. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 3 is 15. 16, 17, 18, 19. There's 19 of them. 19 of them. And I'm not going to comment about the case itself because I don't know very much about it. I know there's some shenanigans going on, but I don't know quite how to articulate what that shenanigans is. But something, just looking at these photos, all 19 of them here. Some of the people are smiling. Some people look like this guy. Oh my God. They look like it's the worst day of their lives. And then a couple of people are smiling or half smiling. Something isn't making sense to me about these mugshots. And I can't quite put my finger on it. Me and my research buddy we tried to figure it out a little bit. There is something about these images that isn't making sense. There is no congruity, if that's the correct way to put it. They don't look like they were taken in the same place, under the same kind of lighting. They all have different lighting. Some of them are like way too brightly lit, like these two in the upper left-hand corner here. Like you could barely make out the facial features of the individuals. They're like completely bleached out because of what looks like extremely strong light. Or is that manipulated by Photoshop? This one down here too, this guy in like the blue jacket and the blue and white collar shirt. I don't know. I really don't know. And to be honest with you, well, I'm being honest no matter what, but the people who are smiling are the ones that I'm most suspicious about. Personally. And I won't say how and why and, in what way suspicious, but no. And I'm just reacting to these, just like I reacted to, when I did the Diego Velázquez video, I was just reacting to some of Velázquez's portraits that are on his Wikipedia page. This, I'm doing kind of, oh no, sorry. I'm doing kind of the same thing. These facial expressions in this situation, in this context, smiling while you're getting booked and mugshotted and fingerprinted and the whole thing. What was this? Legal people help me out. Was this an arraignment? No, this wasn't an arraignment. The arraignment's later. This is just a booking. As far as I know. And again, why would all of these pictures be lit so very, very differently if they were all taken in the same place, in the same room, with the same equipment, the same lighting? Doesn't make sense. It really, really doesn't make sense. I don't know what to think. I really don't know what to think. They all seem to be lit from the same side. The light is coming from the right side, our right, when we're looking at these photos. But the brightness of the light and the variation in the brightness makes me a little bit suspicious. And me and my research buddy, we were looking at these together, and we were like, we need to find the commonality. Like, what do these photos have in common, or what do certain ones of these photos have in common? Because it's all different people. And I mean, they're all being photographed from above, like the camera lens is pointed kind of at the top of their forehead. And they're all looking up, each and every one of them. None of them is looking straight at you, like directly, eye level or anything. No, this is all from above, photographed from above, and they're all looking at you from below, which I guess is standard. What I've seen mugshots before, but there's something about these that isn't making sense. And this emblem, the sheriff's office, I think it's the sheriff's office, like monogram or whatever it's called, insignia. No, not insignia, but I think just their symbol, their logo or whatever. Why is it all different sizes? In all the different photos of this one, this thing is, look at, in this one it's pretty big. In this one it's much smaller. And the smallest one, I think, is the one next to Donald Trump's head. Look at that. Look at it. And the biggest one, let me see if there's a comment. Yeah, I think the very biggest one is right next to Rudy Giuliani's head. Mark Meadows has a big one, but not nearly as big as the one in the Rudy Giuliani mugshot photograph. What's going on? Does that mean, and my question obviously is, does that mean something? Does the brightness of the lighting in each photo mean something? Does the size of this like sheriff's badge thing, does that mean something? Donald Trump's is the teensiest and the weensiest. It's kind of easy to See, this guy's is pretty small too, but I think Trump's is barely noticeable. Barely noticeable. What is up with that? What is up with that? And I think out of all of them, the lighting that is the most forgiving, um, in the photo that's used to light the person in the photo, the most forgiving light is the one on Donald Trump, Giuliani, and this dude. I don't know what his name is, but he doesn't look too harshly lit. The rest of them, it's varying degrees of awful as far as the lighting is concerned. I'm not talking about their physical appearance. And that is making me wonder. The smiling, I'm very suspicious about the smiling. This lady isn't like full on smiling, but she doesn't look as miserable as this guy. Um or this guy, or who else? This guy too. He looks like his whole world has come crashing down around him. This is interesting. This is interesting. And this is from the Intelligencer. They do a little kind of thing under each photograph and explain why they're there. And by the way, since it's 9/11, today, September 11th is today, Rudy Giuliani was the mayor of New York City on that day, at that time. And yet, do I have my own theory about what happened that day and why? You betcha. You bet I do. You can be sure that I have my own theory. Am I going to express it here? No, I'm not. Y'all ain't ready. I don't know if you ever will be. This is the Fulton County Sheriff's Office, and if you follow the housewives like I do, and I told you one of my favorite channels is Alexander Rogers, and a couple of other ones that review the housewife shows, especially Real Housewives of Atlanta. And Atlanta, Georgia, if I'm not mistaken, is in Fulton County. And as the wonderful Alexander Rogers says, they will just put all your business in the street in Fulton County, and they will. They absolutely will. They're very loose as far as their records are concerned. You can just go to the state's website and just look up whatever about whoever and find like all kinds of stuff. Yes, I've done this before, researching people and characters and in politics and what have you. Oh yes, you can find very easily. You can find all kinds of information regarding somebody's run-in with the law in the Fulton County website. You just pop the thing open and type in the person's name, and you don't even have to know very much about them. Just type in their name, and all kinds of things will come up. At least that's how it was when I was researching some stuff maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know, maybe they've tightened it up before, but like a lot of these reality TV stars live there, and they, like reality TV personalities do, they get into all kinds of trouble, and what have you. And these journalists who write about them, entertainment journalists and bloggers and people like that, have absolutely no trouble at all, or very little trouble, finding all kinds of dirt about this, that, or the other person, individual, character, whether it's a TV star or whoever, and they just put all of your fucking shit on Front Street in Fulton County, Georgia. They have no, I don't know why they do that. It's not like that everywhere. Oh, trust and believe in my research of people that I see in the news that I'm suspicious about. Like some people, it's hard to find information about them. But if it happened in Fulton County, you're going to be able to find stuff real easy. Okay, so Alexander Rogers is completely right about that. Here's Rudy. Again, look at him. Look at those big owl eyes. Oh my God. This man. This freaking man. Whatever you think about him, and I don't care what you think, whether it's positive or negative, that's none of my business. But please make no mistake, do not underestimate him. He was the mayor of New York City when 9/11 happened. He was district attorney of the Southern District of New York, I think, in the 80s, and he prosecuted all of these mobsters, mafioso people. Like I said, I've done a lot of research, I've done a lot of reading. Rudy Giuliani is not to be fucked with. I don't know why people he's since about 2016, right? Um, he's kind of been clowning. He's been acting a damn fool all over TV and whatever. He's a very theatrical person anyway. He loves to, put on a presentation. But the last about 7 years, yeah, he's been in his old age too. He's just been he's been in turbo all this time, and all the appearances that he's been making, and he's got his show. I've watched it, yes I have, on YouTube, where he has all kinds of different people on there. And this man, from what I understand, not only was he mayor, not only was he district attorney, um and not only was he district attorney, but you know who was one of his, I don't even know how to characterize it or what to call it. One of his trainees or people beneath him or under him at the time in the early 80s. Well, none other than James Comey, the future director of the FBI, now the former director of the FBI. But, like, these are serious people and they get up to serious business. And anybody who believes Rudy Giuliani's kind of bumbling act, if you underestimate him, that's exactly what he wants you to do. This is just my opinion. I could be 100% wrong about him. This man, according to him and according to the historical record, he took care of, not took care of, but he dealt with, like, all the five mafia families. And just try to read a little bit about the mafia, the Italian mafia, I guess based in New York. Um, these were not people who were to be trifled with. And according to the literature that I've read, not from him, not his statements, but other people writing about these situations that were going on, um, with hunting down all of these mob bosses and whatever. Oh, several of them wanted him dead. And this is not me speculating. This is, you can look it up. You can look it up. And this was high drama. This was high drama. Like Mario Puzo could never, never. If you really read about this man and like what he was doing in the early 80s, and I was so shocked when I finally sat down and started reading about it, because, like, again, this happened in the early 80s. This was kind of before my time, and I wasn't aware of it. And then, as you grow up, nobody tells you about this kind of stuff. You don't, unless you're maybe in, I don't know if they talk about this kind of stuff in law school, or is just known or commonly mentioned in legal circles or whatever. But us regular people who are not legal professionals or law enforcement professionals or historians regarding those matters, oh, we don't know. Oh, we don't know, like, what he got up to and whatever. No, 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 no. You have to go and seek out that information. And once you start reading, dear viewer, dear listener, you're gonna be surprised at some of the stuff you read and how seriously this guy's life was in danger during that time. In history, they were the mob bosses of the five families. I don't know what they're called, like the top dogs of those families. Was it not the capo? Is it the capo or the consiglieres? But whatever. They had a meeting. All five of them had a meeting, and this is not me talking. This is from an article I read, probably in the. Oh, I know I have it saved somewhere because it was a good article. Um, it was at the Times or something else. But anyway, the five, top bosses of these mafia families, they had a sit down, they had a meeting, and they voted on whether or not to, have Giuliani dealt with. And it very narrowly was voted no to leave him alone, right? So, and you look into this guy, you look into the Cuomo family, Mario Cuomo. Also, I think, was he the mayor? I think it was the mayor. His son, what's his face? Was it not Mario, but oh, Andrew Cuomo? He was the governor of New York, but the father, I believe, was the mayor of New York City. He was also a target of the mafia. He very narrowly missed getting assassinated when he was visiting Italy one time, Mario Cuomo. So this is serious business that these people are dealing with. Okay, especially somebody like him. People underestimate him, and he wants them to because he's smart enough not to want people to know how smart he is. But again, whatever you think about him and his political positions, I'm not talking about that now. I'm talking about the man's skills and his intelligence. With regard to the matter at hand and why he was mugshotted and the whole thing, that's as my mama would say, that's a whole nother pair of pants. Okay. And it even says here, oh yeah, it says here Trump's personal lawyer, former New York City mayor, aka America's mayor, which he got during 9/11 because he was, he kind of did a pretty good job, as far as I could tell, of dealing with the aftermath of 9/11. Uh, Former New York City mayor and U.S. District Attorney for the Southern District of New York, known for using anti-racketeering laws to take down mobsters. RICO, you've heard of RICO. I think he basically invented RICO. Legal people, Richland Law, Gershom, whoever else who knows the law much better than I do, let me know whether or not I'm incorrect about that. But I think he was the one who we can thank him for the existence of RICO and prosecuting people using the RICO stuff. I'm telling you, this man is not to be messed with. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. And these other people, and I'm gonna get into this one. I am. Just give me a minute. But this is who we're mugshotting here, regarding allegedly. I don't know if I believe everything anymore. Regarding allegedly the 2020 election, I just don't know what to think. I don't know what to think. The whole hullabaloo, which I followed pretty closely in 2020. Of course I did. We were all under house arrest. There was nothing else to do. I just read and read and read and read and read. And, the popular thing to read about at the time was precisely the 2020 election and all the what should I call it? All of the theatrics, it was a circus. It was a complete circus with elephants and tightrope walkers and dancing monkeys and all, you name it. You name it. It was all over the place. Of course I read about it. And his public appearances during that time were just odd to say the least. Again, this man has strategy running through his veins. So the fact that it got to this point for him, where he actually got booked and mugshotted in Fulton County for all of these charges, this is very suspicious to me. This is allegedly such a fine legal mind that this man has. How could that ever happen to somebody like him? I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. This guy, I think he doesn't know what he's really gotten himself into. Mark Meadows, he's a deer in the headlights. No clue. This one too. Ooh, no. Her too. I listen. Her face. Something. I'm not a psychic. I don't claim to be. But I'm pretty good at reading people. I'm pretty good at reading faces and body language. Not a professional. Don't have any training, just naturally. Her face bugs me. There, I said it. I said it. This guy, he also doesn't really know what's going on. This one, indignant. This one, I don't know. But, this, another smiler. what the hell is up with this smiling? If I was getting mugshotted, the last thing I would do is smile. That's what celebrities do when they get mugshots. They smile, for a DUI or whatever. And they smile because they know that picture is going to be all over the media. Is that why this fool is smiling? Former state senator and Georgia GOP chair. Oh my God. Who is this guy? Georgia lawyer. Okay. Oh, this guy knows he's up Schitt's Creek. Look at him. This is a face of. He's completely dejected, and this is complete and utter regret on his face in this photo. This lady, same thing. She's kind of beside herself. She doesn't quite know what's going on. She probably didn't think it would get to this point. A lot of these fools, let me go to the group picture. A lot of these fools really didn't know. They seem to, their faces tell me that they just they never ever dreamed that it would get to the point where they would have these photographs, these mugshots taken of them. Okay? A couple of them think it's a joke. This one's smiling, this one's smiling, this one's smiling, this lady is half smiling. They think it's a joke. I believe that the ones who are smiling the biggest, I think the joke's on them. Don't ask me why I feel that way, but I do. The ones who are not smiling, especially this one down here, oh my God. This one and the one with the collar, and maybe this one too, they know. They know how bad it is. They know how bad it is, and they know why. The ones who are smiling think they've pulled the fast one on somebody or something, and they think this is all a big show. Ooh, no. No. It's not. It's not. It's not a big I mean, it is a big show, but it's they really I believe, this is my intuition talking. If they knew how serious things were for them, the smiling ones, they just wouldn't be smiling. They wouldn't be smiling. They probably would have flown the coop. They would have fled to anywhere but the United States, like Canada, Mexico, anywhere. The North Pole, the South Pole, whatever. Now, Trump and Giuliani, that's different. That's different. And they have similar lighting. Have you noticed? I talked about lighting. Look at this. Very similar and very kind of subdued lighting. And look at this. The cutout that they used to start the article with Donald Trump's picture. They cut out the little badge thing in the upper left-hand corner. That's interesting. How they manage that. Oh my goodness. I guess they had to cut it. Why did they cut that off? Did they cut it off for Giuliani? No, they didn't. And this is enormous. Next to his head. I don't know what they mean. The size of these badge thingies in the photos is significant. I wish I could tell you why, but okay, so I was just talking with somebody about this today. There is something called in art, especially ancient art, old art, it's called the hierarchy of scale. And the hierarchy of scale, especially, like I said, especially when you're looking at ancient art, prehistoric art, Mesopotamian art, Egyptian art, etc. Hierarchy of scale means that when you're looking at any given image or sculpture or whatever, especially from the ancient world, the largest figure depicted is also the most important one. Okay? And then on down, like the smallest person depicted is the least important person in that composition. All right? That's called the hierarchy of scale. Biggest is most important, smallest is least important, and then you gauge like everything or everybody, every person depicted in between those two. Now I'm gonna apply that to these badge things here. Like I said, Rudy's is the biggest. Rudy's is the biggest. Trump's is the smallest. I bet you if I put these badges like side by side, in order of size from biggest to smallest, I'm pretty sure Rudy's would be the biggest, and maybe Mark Meadows's would be the second biggest, and then Hers would maybe be the third biggest. So I can't do that now because like I don't have that kind of time or that kind of equipment or that kind of patience. But what it seems to me is if the badge is the biggest, then also his role, Giuliani's role in this whole thing, whatever's going on here, whatever reason they were all arrested and booked and fingerprinted and mugshotted, um, the Giuliani's role is also the biggest. He's the mastermind. Okay, he is the mastermind. All right, and I mean, of course, he's working with his old friend, Donald Trump. Donald Trump's is the smallest, and I'm trying to figure out why it's the smallest. If the hierarchy of scale thing applies here to these badge things, why is his the smallest? I don't know. I mean, hopefully this will become apparent to me as this thing goes on. But if you've also noticed, this thing has gone on for quite a while. It is now 2023, and this alleged election interference thing happened in 2020. It's been 3 years, almost, yeah, 3 years. In November, it'll be 3 years. Now, what? I know the legal system is slow, but it still seems like they're taking a little too long. They are dragging their feet regarding these matters, and I would love to know why. Again, I'm not a legal person, I'm not a political expert of any kind, but it seems to me that they are just taking their sweet time regarding these prosecutions. I think, like, when is he gonna be, like, when is this actual, if there's gonna be a trial, like, when is that gonna happen? Like 2024, 2025? Who knows? Um, this is hard to figure out, especially for a layperson like me who is not, like, there are people who know the law or know specifically with regard to this, like what's going on, how it's going on, why it's going on, and probably what's going to happen in the future. I do not. I do not know any of those things. All of this, every single thing that you're hearing me say in this video is just my speculation based on the way I am interpreting the appearance of the imagery that we see in the media, namely, in this case, these mugshots. That's it. I am not a legal eagle. I'm not a political eagle. I'm not a none of that. None of that. Yes, I read, but that means nothing. Uh, what is going on here? What is going on here with these pictures? Again, I've already explained like why I think they're a little funny. They don't make no sense. At least there are several parts of this whole thing, this whole collection of pictures, each in their own way doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Each in their own way doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Maybe the ones with the brightest light shining down upon them are the most guilty of something. I don't know. Maybe the ones with the largest badges have the largest roles to play in whatever is going on here. I don't know. But then again, why would Donald Trump have such a small badge if this is to do with him? I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know. Are there, like I was talking about Erwin Panofsky recently, Erwin, is there some kind of disguised symbolism going on here? I think was I talking about Panofsky precisely in this video, the Diego Velasquez? I don't know, but I was talking about it recently in one of my videos, disguised symbolism. If you can see it, you might say, well, if you can see it, then it's not disguised. No, it's not about whether or not you can see the symbol. It's about whether or not you know the symbol's meaning. That's what makes it disguised. Maybe the general public, us, the general public, we see a symbol and interpret it one way because that's how we've been taught. But then there's another strata of society who have special education or training or whatever, and they see that very same symbol, but they see something completely different because they know something completely different than the rest of us do. That's disguised symbolism, in a nutshell. Okay, so is that what's going on with these badges? The lighting, odd. I think I've located like a couple of commonalities. I'm not going to say it here because it took me a while to get to my research buddy, David, he knows. But you all, I'm going to keep it to myself for now. I want to see how this plays out. Okay, I want to see how this plays out. But, check it out. Check it out. A lot of these people, again, based on their facial expressions, know that they're up Schitt's Creek, and probably not for the reasons why we think, the public, why we think they're up Schitt's Creek, or what we've been told in the news is why they're up Schitt's Creek. There's probably shit going on behind the scenes that we will never know. Ever. Ever. And that's why here we are speculating and interpreting these images. Now, there's like this image itself. I will go and have a little coffee break, and this is from the Associated Press. One image, one face, one American moment, the Donald Trump mugshot. Okay, I will go have a little sip of coffee, and then I will get back to you. I'm just going to take a good look at his face. I'm going to take a good look at his face, his hair, possibly also revisit Mr. Giuliani. All right. Um, I need to make this video interesting for you, so I can't just keep all of my um, what should I call them? Oh, I can't just keep all of my little theories to myself. I will say something, not as much as I really think or really believe, but I will give you a reason to stay and watch the video. So please don't go nowhere. There's also this marvelous, oh my God, article from the New Yorker, the Trump mugshots art historical lineage. I'm not going to read this, no, but I'll leave it for you if you would like to read it. Complete bullshit. Complete and utter bull hunkery uh, in this article. And did I just see? Did I not? Oh Lord, Jack Daniels and Coca-Cola, #7 brand, old #7. Y'all, I don't know. Has anybody tried one of these? They look interesting, but they look like they're probably strong. I was talking, because of The Shining, I talked a lot about Jack Daniels and Coca-Cola, and I think I featured a picture of this on my Instagram. What is it doing here now? Is somebody trying to tell me something? Ooh, have I lost my mind? Let me know, y'all. Let me know. I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay, everybody, I'm back. And let me just go ahead and try and finish this video. My God. Now, I was talking about Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani, the way they look in these, look at that, in these mugshots. To me, something's going on. Something's going on. I can't quite put my finger on it. Um, April Peters, thanks to you, I'm doing this video, but I can't quite figure out like I know something is going on. My gut, my intuition, whatever you want to call it, is telling me that something is a goings on. All right, what that might be, I don't know. This is not making sense to me. I mean, I always leave room open for the possibility that I could be just flat out wrong, that I could be misinterpreting something, that I could be seeing something that ain't there. It's just me and my stupid psychotic brain, as Butters would say on South Park. Yeah, I don't know. But to me, something is telling me something is going on with these pictures, and they have a lot to do with the greater kind of performance that we're looking at. To me, this is performative. To me, this is this is a production. I don't know who the producer, director, choreographer, cinematographer, musical directors are, but it's a production. Okay, it's a production. Now, what's going on? Whew, only the good Lord knows. Okay, let me pause just a second here. Hold on. I just wanted to find this for you really quick since I was talking about Giuliani and You know how he fought the mob in New York. I mean, I don't. This is not alleged. This is fact. But I told you that like the mob bosses got together. And where did I learn this, by the way, about the mob bosses? I did my own little research, but I follow on Twitter. I'll just call it Twitter. We all know what it is. A journalist, and I can't for the life of me remember what publication they work for, but they're pretty good as far as investigative reporting and stuff like that. The person's name is Yasher Ali. Okay, they're American, but obviously of foreign origin. Um, and they are the first person I remember. They did a tweet sometime way back, I don't know when, and they were talking about Vincent Gigante, uh, also known as the Chin, as you can see here, who was an American mobster who was the boss of the Genovese crime family in New York from 1981 to 2005. That's a long time. Right up until his death, I guess. These people are, in the mob, they're like the Pope. Like, I think, what's his face, Ratzinger, was one of the few that like retired. If maybe I don't know. I don't know the whole history of the papal throne. But I think maybe Ratzinger was the only one who retired, and he's like, before he died. They all seem to just keep on going until the bitter end. But just like these mob bosses, and he was a boss of the Genovese crime family in New York. He started out as a professional boxer, do 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 do, and you can read the whole thing for himself. But what this guy was known for, um, let me hold on. Let me see if it's here. Let me see if it's here. My control F is being funny. Pajamas. There it is. Uh, this guy was known for, when he was being tried and what have you, attended his arraignment in pajamas and a bathrobe. Okay? Now, seriously. He attended his arraignment in pajamas and a bathrobe, and this is what I think Yasher Ali reported on his Twitter page. Something about uh, Gigante attending his arraignment. And there are pictures of him just walking around the city in his pajamas and his bathrobe, and due to his defense stating that he was mentally and physically impaired, legal battles ensued for 7 years over his competence to stand trial. Now, I'm not going to tell you where or what or how, but you can dig for it. You could Google, just like I can Google. And Gigante, the Chin, yes, he eventually died in 2005. But I told you how the five bosses of the five families got together and took a vote to see whether or not they were going to take out Giuliani, right? Gigante was the deciding vote. Gigante's vote spared Giuliani's life, according to the story that I read online. And as long as Giuliani was, what does it say here? His title was U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. As long as Giuliani was there in the Southern District of New York, Gigante managed to stay out of prison. Okay? In spite of these things that he was charged with, and drug trafficking, racketeering, and conspiracy, obstruction of justice, whatever, he managed to stay out of prison. After Giuliani left his position as U.S. Attorney, that's when Gigante finally went to prison. Okay? Because, obviously, whoever was protecting him was no longer around in a position where he could protect him. I'm just saying, it just makes sense to me. All right, this guy happened to be the one who cast the vote that decided against putting a hit out on Giuliani, and Giuliani, I guess, returned the favor, right? Now, this is me. This is my speculation, whatever. I'm just saying this is interesting. When you read about this stuff, like most people, like they're too busy looking at bullshit on social media, Instagram. I use social media to learn. I use it as a starting point for one of my reading odysseys, you know. And when I heard this story, I said, really? Really? Good heavens. So, and the reason I mentioned the pajamas and the bathrobe and Gigante says here, for about 30 years, Gigante feigned insanity in an effort to throw law enforcement off of his trail. Okay, dubbed the Odd Father and the Enigma in the Bathrobe by the media. Gigante often wandered the streets of Greenwich Village in his bathrobe and slippers, mumbling incoherently to himself. Okay. Um, I am convinced that was all, he did all of that at this guy's suggestion. I really do. That is my conspiracy theory. I don't know whether or not it's true. That's just me. I don't know whether or not this is true. This is my conspiracy theory. Don't come for me, okay? I believe this man, whatever you think about his politics or anything, I believe he's a genius. I mean a super duper genius in many regards. Okay, that's how I feel. Whether or not he's doing good or whatever, that's another story. That's another story. But he like engineered all of this stuff with regard to the five families and the whole thing. Now I also, we're talking. Why are we here? We're here to talk about this mugshot, as the title of this video is the mugshot heard around the world. Kind of like that. And those of you who are, again, hold on. I'm back. I'm back. And again, those of you who are not American, and you may have never heard the term or the phrase, the shot heard around the world. This is what it is. It's the shot heard around the world is a phrase that refers to the opening shots of the battles of Lexington and Concord on April 19, 1775, which sparked the American Revolutionary War and led to the creation of the United States. It originates from the opening stanza of Ralph Waldo Emerson's poem Concord Hymn. The phrase has subsequently been applied to the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in 1914, a catalyst event for World War I, and hyperbolically applied to feats in sports. That's what I mean when I say the mugshot heard around the world. Shit's gonna go down, you guys. This means something. So in this AP article, one image, one face, one American moment, the Donald Trump mugshot. Look at him. Look, and they included the teensy weensy little badge up here. Look at him. This is not an ordinary person that we're dealing with here. Whether you love him or hate him, or you don't care, whatever. This photograph is a huge piece now of American history, recent American history, and he's already capitalized on it. Don't you know? He's selling T-shirts, coffee mugs, whatever, with his mugshot on it. He's not ashamed. He's not hiding. He's not trying to pretend this never happened or downplay this or whatever, especially if he's trying to become president again, for 2024. Oh, no, he's making this a big part of his campaign. Oh, of course, this is Donald Trump we're dealing with here. This is Donald Trump we're dealing with here. This is not, no, this man is a master of PR, marketing, advertising, promotion, self-promotion, and whatever. And he's always wearing the same goddamn suit and tie, always the blue suit with the red tie. I don't know why. This is, I'm not going to read this article. I'm going to leave this for you to read. It's an interesting article. It says that this is an enduring image that will appear in history books long after Donald Trump is gone. Captured for posterity, there was a former president of the United States for the first time in history, under arrest and captured in the sort of frame more commonly associated with drug dealers or drunken drivers, the trappings of power gone for that split second. These journalists, either they don't know what they don't know, or they're just stupid, because they're not anything I read about this person or even somebody like Bill Clinton or Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama or Joe Biden or Hunter Biden or whatever, are these people just stupid? Or are they missing the point? Or is that their job? Is their job to be stupid and not really do any research or any critical thinking or whatever? We're not dealing with ordinary people who lead ordinary lives. We can't talk about them as ordinary people or whatever, and we can't just take their words or their actions at face value. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's this, oh, look, this is my last free article. I don't give a damn. From the New Yorker, the Trump mugshots art historical lineage, um, a- assessing the 45th president's Georgia photo op. Photo op? Okay. In the context of Da Vinci, Warhol, and a rogues gallery of accused criminals. This was written August 28th, 2023, in the New Yorker. Okay. I don't agree with anything about this article. I'll just skip reading it to you because look how long this damn thing is, and it's all the same shit over and over again. And the author tries to somehow compare this to Renaissance art. I mean, really. There's this, look at this last paragraph. I'll maybe read this to you. Just last year, the National Portrait Gallery put on an exhibition of Watergate art. Why the hell are they mentioned? Now I'm going to have to read this a little bit more thoroughly. I skimmed it. What I saw I didn't like, but I might have to give it another look. Put on an exhibition of Watergate art. Watergate? Really? That included a Warholian mock-up of a wanted poster featuring conspirators like G. Gordon Liddy, John Ehrlichman, and Richard Nixon. A spokesperson for the museum said that there had been no discussion about acquiring any version of the Trump mugshot, but officials suggested it probably would hold up pretty good. Okay. Now, Andy Warhol, whether you love him or hate him, some people adore him, some people can't stand him. He was a good artist. He knew how to use images. It's very similarly to the way David Lynch and Stanley Kubrick and Alfred Hitchcock and all these great directors, Brian De Palma, all of them, the way they knew how to use they know how to use images. And these people are where they are as far as their professions because they are the masters of their craft as far as film directors and people like Warhol. Warhol understood a lot more. He was a terrific draftsman. Okay, he was very good at doing just ordinary traditional art, just like Salvador Dali. Amazing, just at mimetic drawing. He was possibly on the same level, or maybe even a little bit better than Diego Velázquez. Salvador Dali was. Same thing with Pablo Picasso. Look at his work if you have free time. Go and look at Pablo Picasso's work before he turned 20, when he was a young child, about 12 years old. The oil paintings that he did at that age, they are spectacular. They put people like, in my opinion, Picasso's work when he was a 12-year-old, put people like Leonardo da Vinci to shame. Okay, he was a virtuoso. He was a child prodigy as far as painting and art was concerned. And people like them, Picasso, both happen to be Spanish. I don't know. And Velázquez. So the Spanish produced some incredibly strong, talented artists. And they took what they could do with drawing and painting and whatever, and they added their own thing to it. They reinterpreted art itself in their own way. Velázquez, Picasso, Dali, Warhol, people like that. I'm a fan of some modern or contemporary artists. Maybe I'll make a video one day. You know how much I love Hopper. Um, I really like abstract expressionism. That's my zhuzh. I like contemporary art, not all of it, but there are certain pieces that I really do enjoy, and I think I'll be making some videos about that soon. But I need to look up this Warhol mock-up of the wanted posters. I really do. Now, why are they? Oh, they're mentioning Gerhard Richter. I like him too. I really do. But they're mentioning Trump's mugshot in the context of fine art. Which, I mean, if these people, a lot of people just can't stand Donald Trump, uh, okay, but if they can't stand him and they, think he deserves to be arrested and booked and publicly humiliated, then why are they comparing that mugshot to fine art? That's what I'd like to know. But I'm going to have to take a better look at this. Now, here's the article that I thought was maybe a little bit more interesting from ArtNet News. How we should look at Donald Trump's historic mugshot. So, April Peters, here it is. I found this. I'm actually subscribed to these. I get email notices. So, and I saw this and I thought of you and I said, okay, let me do it. How we should look at Donald Trump's historic mugshot, the first ever taken of a U.S. president. Photo history shows that mugshots aren't just legal documents. They are designed to circulate as media spectacle. Okay? How long is this thing? Oh, Lord. Not too long, so I'll try to read quickly. You've no doubt seen it by now. It is omnipresent. It is on every front page and social media feed. It has been texted, tweeted, printed, pasted. It has been mocked and weaponized, used as a punchline and a rallying cry. It is already a mega meme and the photo of the year. It is one of the defining images of the 21st century. Donald Trump's mugshot, the first ever taken of a U.S. president, is historical. It's also complicated. On Thursday, August 24th, Trump arrived in Atlanta to be booked on racketeering charges related to his alleged attempts to change the outcome of the 2020 U.S. presidential election in Georgia. During a 20-minute visit to Fulton County Jail, he was fingerprinted, photographed, and released on bail. Police released his mugshot shortly thereafter. It's a rich, equivocal image. The 45th president glares at the camera, his face pitched forward, frame right, and cast in the shadow of swooped hair. We're going to talk about that hair. Below, he wears a blue suit and a red tie that draws out the vessels of his eyes. Critics will see the menacing power. Not power. Critics will see the menacing glower of a villain, supporters a look of steely determination. Some will find it a symbol of justice triumphing over a man who had evaded it for so long, others a metaphor for the modern American political machine, tired, corrupt, sensationalized. It is also just a typical mugshot. The resolution is low, the lighting is poor. These images, it's easy to forget, are designed to degrade their subjects. They are unregulated, prejudicial instruments of police punishment. Well, I didn't know that. Says here, it continues. Photography has a long-standing relation to policing. Sean Michelle Smith, a professor of visual and critical studies at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, wrote in a 2018 essay for Aperture. She pointed out that just years after the technology was introduced in 1839, American law enforcement officers were displaying gridded photos of arrested suspects, known as rogues galleries, in public places. Now you know where the term rogues galleries comes from. If the mental image of crowds gathering around criminal portraits in town squares feels like a relic of a bygone era, it also underscores the mugshot's function as entertainment. And then again, it shouldn't feel so quaint. Before Trump's trip to Fulton County Jail, gridded pictures of Rudy Giuliani, Mark Meadows, and other defendants in Georgia's 19-person racketeering case circulated online to similar effect. The mugshot as we know it was developed in the 1880s by Alphonse Bertillon, an anthropologist and chief of the Judicial Identification Service of France. Early examples exist in the Metropolitan Museum of Art's permanent collection. That's my dream. One day, I will visit New York and visit the Metropolitan Museum. Yes, I will. Anyway, moving on. He too saw photography's potential in police work, but recognized it as an imperfect tool. In Bertillon's system, photos were always accompanied by a standardized set of biometric information. Nearly a century and a half later, the basic framework of Bertillon's system still shapes law enforcement efforts today. But the lessons that got him there haven't been passed down in the same way, according to Smith. What the history of the mugshot demonstrates is that such disciplinary ways of looking had to be learned, she wrote. They were crafted, standardized, practiced, and taught. There is nothing transparent about these images or the way they present individuals. That's very interesting to me. There's nothing transparent about these images. They're not easy to understand. They're not easy to interpret or solve, In a 2019 exhibition at Apex Art called The Criminal Type, looked at the mugshot through the history of positivist criminology. The field, developed in the late 19th century, was predicated on the belief that people were born criminals and thus could be identified before breaking the law. Baked into its logic were then prevalent notions of biological and moral superiority. Interesting. Elizabeth Briner, the show's curator and member of the group Forensic Architecture, argued in an accompanying text that the mugshot is part of a larger industry that profits off the humiliation and degradation of those who can often least afford it. In both cases, the mugshot's function as a criminological resource has been tainted by its double life as a form of public entertainment. Now that's interesting. This is the ironic lineage into which Trump's mugshot and the furor around it was born. The picture, wrote New York Times critic Vanessa Friedman, is part of the pageantry of the moment, part of the theater of law, and Mr. Trump is a man who has always understood the power and language of theater, of putting on a show, of the way an image can be used for viral communication and opinion making. With a new line in his arrest record, Trump was also given a photo custom made for the type of spectacle on which he's already built a presidential run. The mugshot can be circulated as an image of Trump humbled, humiliated, and brought low, or as an image of Trump the mastermind, brilliantly working the media. Either way, it's circulating, and that's a win for him. Trump has already turned his mugshot into a symbol of rebellion. Not long after he was released on bail, the former president took to X, formerly Twitter, where he was banned until last November, and posted the mugshot atop a caption that read, in all caps, "Election interference, never surrender." In an interview with NPR, Pulitzer Prize-winning photographer David Hume Kennerly said the mug will be the most published photograph ever taken, no doubt. But should it be? And that's the article. I think it's a pretty good article. The author, the writer of this thing seems to be he's not necessarily picking sides or anything. He's presenting an issue. Taylor Defoe, the writer, he's presenting this issue in kind of a logical or reasonable, unemotional kind of way, but a way that does nevertheless make you think, make you really kind of consider what it is that is going on with this mugshot. This is unprecedented. The first, only U.S. president who's ever gotten a mugshot after being president, not before. Okay? And, everybody thinks that, again, for some reason, they underestimate him so much. Everybody thinks he's an idiot. No, he's not. Whether you love him or hate him, you just can't deny that this guy is really smart, and he's playing a game. He's playing a game that is extremely difficult to understand. And it's that way by design. It's that way by design. Everybody hates him for, the people who don't like him don't like the slogan that he's built his campaigns around, the Make America Great Again thing. Well, if we want to be real technical, he didn't come up with that. By the way, viewers, listeners, Donald Trump did not come up with Make America Great Again, also known as MAGA. No. You know who came up with that? His predecessor in the White House, Mr. William Jefferson Clinton. Yeah, Bill Clinton came up with Make America Great Again in the 90s. All right. Donald Trump's obsession with Diet Coke. Guess who did that before him? Same person. Bill Clinton. Donald Trump being apparently or allegedly a big fan of junk food, fast food, McDonald's, stuff like that. Guess who did that before him? You guessed it, Bill Clinton. Now, that is a fact. You can look it up on your own. What does that mean? I don't know. Is Trump just copying Bill Clinton? I don't know. I really don't know. But something's going on. Something is going on. And like I said, him and this one. Oh, no. This one down here. Come on, where are you? Oh, no, that's the wrong article. This one, him. They've known each other for quite some time. They really have. They've been possibly working together for quite some time. And I said I'd talk about the hair. I'd talk about his appearance. He's one of his nicknames. Again, April Peters. If you haven't heard it, maybe I don't know if you're American or if you've just never heard of this. Oh shit! I gotta read this article later. Donald Trump's surreal line of NFT portraits sold out within a day and are now trading for as much as $44,000. Well. Okay, that's another video for another time. But everybody talks about the hair, and everybody talks about the orange. That's why they call him Orange Man, because he uses, I guess, way too much self-tanner or bronzer or whatever. This is my speculation, my theory. I think this is the person who told him to do that. That is my feeling. He's an older man. He's in his 70s. His hair is probably naturally gray at this point in his life, and his skin is obviously not that tan. I think I read somewhere, I think maybe even his daughter, Ivanka, she's the one who said, "Oh yeah, he not only does he dye his hair blonde or yellow, he does it himself." I think he applies the hair dye or whatever it is himself. Make of that what you will. Make of the cuts. There are pictures of him. They're very rare, but there are pictures of him where the hair dye is washed out and he hasn't had a chance to redo it or reapply it. And yes, he has gray hair. He sure does. And there are pictures of him with no orange whatsoever on his skin. Again, they're very rare, but they do exist. And usually, whenever he's pictured in public, he's always wearing the blue suit and the red tie combo, unless it's like a special occasion. Now, y'all, I found this. Okay? Now, I also found this on Twitter. All right, and this is a color, meanings, and symbolism chart. And this has to do with Native American culture. And this is basically the color code, as far as I could tell, used by the movie studios, like way back in the day, when they were making cowboys and Indians movies, right? Westerns. Doesn't even matter what kind of westerns, spaghetti or otherwise. And spaghetti westerns are called spaghetti westerns because they were filmed in Italy, if you didn't know. Anyway, color, meanings, and symbolism. So this is supposed to be what these colors mean in the context of symbolism and, for example, face paint, war paint. Okay, so there's the color black, red, white, yellow/orange, Orange is just a darker version of yellow. Green, blue, purple. Okay, and here's the meaning, color meanings and symbolism of face paint, this column. And then this other column is color meanings and symbolism of war paint. Now, what I just say? This man's hair is yellow and his face is orange. All right. What does yellow and orange mean? As far as face paint, intellect and determination. As far as war paint, oh my God. Willing to fight to the death. Now, I could be, again, like all of the other things I say on this channel, I could be completely 100% wrong about all of this. But I found this and it's been sticking in my mind ever since. I haven't been able to kind of like stop thinking about this. Are Trump and Rudy using this color chart? Remember that one episode where Rudy Giuliani was giving a press conference and he alleged or apparently dyed his hair and it was really hot and the dye started to drip down his sideburns and it was black. Does that have anything to do with this? I don't know. Just something to think about, so you all know why you're here. I give you a little something to think about. So, I talked about the hair, I talked about the skin, I talked about this person is a mastermind at self-promotion, for sure. For sure. Also look at his face. People say he looks like, like, oh, he's been caught and he looks guilty. No, this is like a really determined stare. This is deliberate. This isn't him just letting his face relax while his picture is being taken here. No, this facial expression is extremely deliberate. Why and how? I mean, we know how. He's making the face on purpose. But why? Why does he want to look precisely like this in this photograph? There's a lady, I think I've mentioned her in my videos before. Her name is Mandy Bombard, and she had a channel called Bombard's Body Language, and she analyzes body language from different interviews with political figures, celebrities, what have you. And I mean, I don't know whether or not she's right, because I don't know how to read body language, not like that anyway. But she has interesting things to say about all different kinds of people. Go check her out. I would love to see if Mandy Bombard, what she has to say. Maybe she already did a video, and I just haven't been keeping up on this mugshot and the body language, the facial expressions. This looks like a very determined facial expression, but it also looks like a facial expression that you would have like right before you get into a fight. I don't know. Y'all let me know. This looks like aggression and determination. Tell me. You all tell me. And I told you what I think about the colors that he's chosen for his hair and his skin. Yellow, orange. Willing to fight to the death if this is in fact a war of some kind that he's waging? I don't know. And, if you want, I mean, if you want, I guess, I don't know if maybe you can find this chart on your own. It's not that hard to find, but let me know if you'd like a copy of it for whatever reason, or I can just drop it in the DM for you on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, right? So I think I've said everything I wanted to say about this. Things are not what they seem, is basically the point of what I'm saying here. Is this the equivalent, what we're looking at with these mugshots, especially his mugshot and especially his mugshot, I'm concentrating on them too. Is this the equivalent of Vincent Gigante wearing pajamas and a bathrobe and muttering it to himself, walking around New York City? I don't know. I don't know. And if you remember, I don't know if you do remember, maybe you haven't been like keeping up with my videos for a very long time. I think last year, maybe even, this thing is being difficult. Last year, where's the thing? I know it's in here somewhere. Golly, come on. My internet is slower than molasses in January. Shout out to Alexander Rogers. Um, Oof, look at this. Look at this ridiculousness. You awful little thing. Come on now. Where's Rudy Giuliani? I did a whole video about his appearance on The Masked Singer. I know I did. I'm pretty sure it didn't get a whole bunch of views. You know, was it an art talk video or whatever? I just don't understand why it's taking. There he is, Rudy Giuliani on The Masked Singer, performance art in political theater. I might link to it underneath this video if you're interested. It only got 36 views. It's from a year ago. I remember it was hot. Like, he dressed up like a damn rooster and popped out of a Jack-in-the-Box when he was doing his appearance on this show, The Masked Singer. And he popped out of the thing wearing a chicken head or a rooster head and, the feathered outfit and singing like George Thorogood's Bad to the Bone. Very poorly, but, he's not a singer. I don't know. 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 But anyway, you all, let me know what you think. I'm done with this for now. I hope I've given you something to think about. Can't wait for the comments. I'll reiterate my church announcements and then I'll let you go. Returning viewers, thank you for returning. New viewers, thank you for being new. Subscribers, thank you for subscribing. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you do enjoy any of this and know somebody who might also enjoy it, I appreciate it all. Again, I hope I did a good enough job with this one. And that's it for now. I'll be making more videos, maybe the day after tomorrow. We'll see. I hope you enjoyed the coffee. Hope you enjoyed the talk. Hope you enjoyed all of my little ridiculous conspiracy theories. And I've got more. Oh, I've got so much more. So until next time, you all. Until the next video, when I find yet another reason to talk at you, I'm going to go ahead and bid you bye-bye. So... bye-bye, everybody.